I was just thinking the other day that as human beings, none of us can account for our own existence, right? We're just here trying to figure it all out. And when you lay hold of spiritual values, the big one for me is obviously love. And the book tells us that love is the supreme spiritual value. But I feel like love is the world's most uncultivated natural resource. And yeah, there it is. If you're watching this, that's your purpose. No biggie. Just to find your way to paradise. Yeah,
And we get
amazing.
to do it together. And when I know people like you and really awesome people, we will remember this in eternity.
I'm very excited because I get to introduce my friend, the gentle warrior, spiritual gangster, the girl so nice they named her twice.
Yeah.
Aprilhelen, let's go. How's it going?
I take that. Wonderful in this eternal life. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So I've not made any plans for this. There's no direction. We have no roadmap. We are venturing into the spiritual wilderness with no map. And I think it's going to be great because I know talking with you, there's going to be lots of spiritual mic drops. So we are
Mm.
just fine.
We have had a wonderful conversation over the years. Very easy banter.
Yeah.
Yes,
We've had many that should have been recorded, I feel.
definitely. And
So
as you and congratulations that you're doing what
thanks.
you have considered for a while and inviting others to consider it as well. I'm on my way to launching. And we were just laughing about that before we hit the record button of the thrill of the unknown and what that produced and that creative play that is so important to strengthen the imagination muscles. And I think that's what they're finding now as brain medicine for when we age. Like it's a powerful component of vitality based longevity, which I always aim
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it feels crazy that I'm even doing this. Like, I know I've talked about it for a long time and I've been pushing everybody else to do it. You, Angie Thurston, that I was pushing Angie pretty hard to take this and run with it because I had no confidence in doing it myself. And then I was finally like, what the hell? I just gotta do it. So
Hey, what was that
here we are.
turning?
The turning point? Yeah, good question. It's little steps in following your path. It feels like you take one step and then another opportunity comes up, or you have a good conversation with somebody. And the past 2 years for me has been rapid spiritual expansion. And there's an aspect to this where I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. And that feels exciting. And the idea of really getting over yourself or moving past whatever it is that is holding you back or that I'm holding myself back from. It's like drop all of that and push forward and hope something good comes out of it. And my intentions are super small. I mean, this is a creative outlet. We get to have fun conversations. And we are living in a time on this planet where there is so much fear and confusion. And this is a positive response to that. So there you go. Yeah. So,
Well, as I was preparing for this conversation, in my path of progress, which includes body, mind, spirit, it's the challenge that since childhood, the inevitable challenge and my relationship to the process of progress and challenge and going into the fire. You say gentle warrior. I like that. I don't know about warrior because I'm a lover. And so yeah, it may ring in some archetype in me, yes. And that warrior-ish nature that is around walking or going towards the fire on purpose. And yet still it's when I'm in the fire, I have to remember, and that's what I'm getting a lot better at, of not getting into the drama of the fire, yet staying firm and rooted and observe it and see it for what it is and what I can learn from it so I can live a more altruistic life is my aim in this cosmos. And you speak of the fear around humanity or within it, and this drive towards the fire and challenge keeps my faith high. So I hold a lot of compassion for those who suffer in fear and all of those poisons, those mental poisons of jealousy and anger and
mhm,
yeah, I rarely find myself suffering there. And in fact, I don't remember the last time I did. So that's interesting of as we support each other in this inevitable progress path,
mhm,
I just share that love that I know that I have running through me, and I get more when I give it away and just surround the people,
yeah.
mentally hug them. I do a lot of mental hugs.
Well, it speaks to the importance of strong spiritual foundation. And I feel like we are really blessed because, we have different spiritual paths. There are things that have come into our lives that has helped us grow spiritually. One of the things I know that is similar for you and I is that we're both readers of the Urantia book. And the thing that's so amazing about that is it really can help provide a strong spiritual foundation. It gives you the gift of perspective. And for you saying that, you don't normally find yourself in that place. Well, that makes sense when you have a faith trust, right? You have trust in spirit, and that's the foundation that you're building everything off of. That's built upon bedrock because that's the foundation of reality.
True, truth. Hashtag. Mic drop, spirit mic drop.
Maybe let's start with that. I'm just curious, and I want to know if you're willing to share from the earliest that you can remember, like your childhood, those things that are spiritually significant in your past or added to your spiritual growth?
Yeah, a lot of fire. And as in the family, the, lineages and just the definitely a blessing in the interfaith culture of the 3 lineages who raised me. That and moving around a lot for different reasons, and, um, the marriage of 2 families around 11, so that having the Urantia book and its teachings at such a young age, especially around its teaching of allow children to find their own religion, and the reframing of the word religion away from the dogmatic and institutional to whatever it is for you, and you naming it. I'm an April Hellenism. Like, I practice April Hellenism.
I want to practice that too.
Yeah. I wanna get me some Shainism. And, that well, it goes back to that unknowing and loving that unknowing and that curiosity around searching. So even though I really resonated out of the 5 kids in my family, I stuck to it super early. And then in my 20s, I walked away from it and started what it says, study all the religions. There's truth there. Study all philosophies. And to my understanding, even atheists are religious because it's their relationship to the cosmos, and because our planet first is awesome because we're in an experimental world. And for those of you out there that don't know that, apparently the universe is organized to where 1 out of every 10 worlds, they let a little um experimentation happen, and that we don't have a physical representation of the celestial administration. So that faith is required, right? Many other planets have the physical representation of a planetary prince and an Adam and Eve, and it's so much easier. So how cool that we get to be on a world that we get to have this play, and yet that is such a if you don't I like that you use the word perspective, because if you don't have that, then that suffer radar is off the charts.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I am a I'm a good cheerleader in that way. I like to bring the conversation back around to eternal perspective, and this is all a school. And that language is becoming popular these days, not just within the Urantia movement.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
We're
sure.
in an exciting
There's
time.
definitely a lot happening right now, which I see as being in response to the materialistic things that are happening in this world that we just internally know something is not right here. There has to be something more to this life. Yeah, I feel so blessed to have that perspective of having some understanding of why this planet is the way it is.
Mhm.
Um, so you're not feeling that despair of nihilism in the secular material world right now. It's really liberating. It's spiritually liberating.
Yeah. So when you ask that question also, there are these moments of decision making, when I think about progress.
Hmm.
One was of sharing with my sister. There was one piece of gum. I think I was 3 or 4, and dad said, "Well, one of you break it in half, and the other one gets to choose what uh, if they were uneven, would you go for the bigger one?" And she broke it, one was bigger, and I went for the smaller one. And that moment I can see of that natural generosity of, well, that cosmic perspective that we're all in one family, and I to love, it's so, you know, yeah,
That, that is a very April Helen thing to do, to take the smaller one. You're one of the most service motivated, uh, people that I know.
you. I stand for it too. So if we are talking about what I'm doing now, it's so involved in being a cheerleader for people who want to do a service project and mentor them. And if they need fiscal sponsorship, our nonprofit has that. And the School of Altruism, School of Service is what it had been called. I'm shifting my language around that because altruism seems to be a much richer word, eh, layered in all of your life. How are you taking care of your body temple to aid your quality longevity so you can serve until you transition healthily just because of old age, around 333. Ooh, or 1111.
Yeah, so what do you spend most of your time working on right now? So what are the projects?
Yeah, thanks. One is a wonderful school in Uganda for about 20 kids that Angie Thurston and I have been nurturing since, I guess 2018 to 2020 is when it really emerged. And so being the director on this side, and we have a director in Uganda, Isa. Hey, Isa. And we've come so far. We've gotten them schooling, started out homeschooling, and now we're in public schools and got them a piece of land. So the next stage is a capital campaign for the building. I'm considering going over there during the building of the building for about 9
Wow,
months in Uganda.
amazing. And you've
And
been before, right?
twice. I just got back. So beautiful. Those kids. I mean, I feel like a mom. I don't have my own children, as you know, and I've had that orphanage or school for children. I'm trying to not use the O word. Since I was a kid, like when I understood about the probationary nursery, y'all can go research that. I knew that that's where I was supposed to go and not have kids here and yet help kids, right? So I've been a nanny, I've taught art of living classes, and kids are, well, what one of the programs is for children in general right now and working with families is helping to identify at younger ages what a good experimentation of vocation and career that can utilize their talents to the nth degree while setting it up to do the greatest good in humanity. Like where would that child fit as a part of the whole? I'm really passionate about that. And so what else? Well, that goes also into adults and what I'm doing through Concentric Circles is the nonprofit, and Spirit is the more Urantia based social transformation network. And that is everything from, well, I want an app at some point, yet right now it's just a building database of secondary works projects. I need to get you on there now. And And then there's emergent humanity that is more language to the broad spectrum. So it's these sister organizations that encourage the altruistic lifestyle and mentor in it. And if service projects emerge, awesome. It's so what else? So there's
Yeah, what else? Like I feel it's like every time I get an email or I see that something's happening in the community, it's got April Helen's name on it. It's like
all over it. Well,
what
one of
more
the
can you
things,
possibly do?
a little shout out to IC26 next July. If you're a new reader, or if you're a reader who has friends or family who have been curious yet don't want to dive into all of the intellectualism. So our aim for this one is more activity, more experiential workshops. I'm rooting for higher intergenerational programming, a lot of humor and music, and there's going to, yeah, I want to save some for surprise. Yeah, that's going to be a really fun one out in Asilomar. It's such a beautiful space,
And
Monterey, California
oh, in
area.
California. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Well, while we were over in Uganda, I visited some UB schools and non-UB schools, and the Ranchubik based one, very impressive. Like, it's getting to be a network that they explicitly teach the Ranchubik teachings to, I think they have 700 children in their network right now. It's the biggest thing on the planet that I have found in getting children at that age to start understanding the teachings.
Mhm.
Very cool. And then, um, I'm helping my friend Ryan McGuire with his books. Have you heard of this name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might have been
It
from you.
yeah, probably. And, uh that's been fun to learn about, and I need more time and of all of these things that I have my hands in, time management, that challenge
Mhm.
has gotten better over the years, and I still find myself not having enough of it. Yet I know we have
Yeah.
eternity. It's not
Right.
like it's
Yeah.
okay.
It's yeah, this weird relationship with time on this planet. I know 24 hours in a day, and that's been a huge struggle for me, with family and a business that I run. And it's like having this passion project and trying to figure out how I um, make best use of my time.
Yeah.
Um, it's not
And
easy.
a dad.
And what? Sorry?
And a dad. Or
Yeah,
I think
and a
you said,
dad.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yes. It's yeah, time is a challenge. But hey, you just got to do the best you can. And that's why it fascinates me about like seeing you in all these projects. I'm like, how is this even possible?
Yeah, how?
Um you mentioned the IC, which is the international conference, the Urantia International Conference. We got to hang out at a previous one, which was in Chicago, which was super fun. I know you were running the children's program there. Man, I still look back on that as such an amazing
That
time.
was
There's
fun.
something, the takeaway from that for me was the importance of spiritual community, right? We can get so intellectual with our spirituality, whether it's books we read or whatever, but those heart level connections and the fun hangs with everybody are what makes it so special. And I, just to build off of that, I had, one of the most unbelievable experiences of my life earlier this year, getting to go to the Monroe Institute um, with 16 other people, and people who are on different paths, but are, I would classify as spiritual seekers and curious. And yeah, there was just this spirit there. And it speaks to the fact that it doesn't matter what your belief system is, what your religion is. If you are opening up to spiritual values, it is so magical to be in a community where you are all there in a real way, opening up to spirit in your own personal way. Yeah. So this past weekend, I just got back from North Carolina because I got to do my second Monroe event with Ryan Bledsoe, and it was the same thing. A smaller group this time. There was 8 of us, but again, just so beautiful hanging out with people that are spiritual seekers.
I
Yeah.
agree. It's a different
Hmm.
energy.
Yeah. So speaking to spiritual community, do you have avenues or outlets like that where you are able to get together with people?
Yes, besides the fellowship, we had a small gathering, a little shout out to the garden school, John Zoba's project up in Beverly, Massachusetts. A lot of my, I would say, remote these conversations a lot. I spend a lot of time in isolation between my socialization of travel, which I do a lot of these days. And I, I like the individual conversation over group. Group, I love for teamwork. I'm on a lot of teams. I was thinking, I know there's a lot more that I'm not saying about what I'm doing, and one of the passion projects that it has emerged around my desire to somehow get involved in government because of the vision towards the era of light and life of a unified global civilization. And so dabbling, going to India in what, a week and a half to attend the Earth Constitution Institute's Provisional World Parliament, their 16th. So I'm starting to dabble in global politics, which I've shied away from for so long. And just like not leading my life with the Urantia book, I've even created courses around the art of universal language because of how, as a second generation student, I had to learn at a young age what I could or couldn't say without, being ridiculed.
Right.
So,
So what what does that mean? The art of universal language.
yes, this inspired by things like compassionate communication, nonviolent communication, yet making the spiritual aspect of it priority, and your reception and growing your capacity with your connection with, we call it the thought adjuster, that divine within, whatever you call it, right? Art of universal language. What is this? That divine spark, the light, the inner voice, like whatever you want to call it. We all have this fragment of God. So to speak in such a way that, and the more people you have in the conversation, the more challenging because there's all the different personalities chiming in. So to be able to speak to the deepest in each of those people, what you said, spiritual values rooted in that living virtuously. And I have come to my current working model is what is the most important value to me? Integrity. And because integrity helps with all the other values and as I really started focusing on integrity, the areas of my life and my thoughts and those that weren't in integrity, they're coming up a lot. So I get to
Mm,
work on, all right, I need to clean that up and get in alignment, be more integral. And yet also there's this not 100%, because that to me is a perfection disease. So I run my life currently around 80/20. You know, I give myself some grace, not for, having fun, and we're on only on this planet once.
mhm.
Yeah. I don't hurt other people.
Well, well, that's good. Um, you mentioned the thought adjuster, and I think, this is a Urantia book term, but a hugely important revelatory concept. Angie and I talked about this a little bit on the first episode, but can you just explain what that is to someone who's not familiar with the term?
Yes. So, and for those of you who don't know the Urantia book, sometimes I just say, read it like a sci-fi. If it resonates truth with you, then you'll know. And if it doesn't, it's a great read. So apparently, our creator, all of our creators, and the creator of the beings that our human eyes can't see, not all of the beings get thought adjusters. We, as this human species, as an evolving soul, we get a God fragment. We get an actual piece of our creator, unique to us, unique to you. And it is, I I think of the light. I love that quote, if you could recall it. It's the ship, right? The mind is the ship.
Oh, yes.
I
Yeah,
I need
yeah.
to memorize that one. It's such a good one.
It's only a 2,000 page book. So,
Yeah. And it guides us back. It's calling to get back to our creator in paradise, in the center of all things. And it's sent way out here to the far reaches of the current universe, in the seventh super universe, if y'all want to get geeky. And it's wanting to bring you back to meet your creator and fuse with God.
mhm.
And you have free will. We all have free will. So it's a gift. We get the gift. I love looking at it in this analogy. We are gifted with this incredible piece of God. And our gift is to choose to live in alignment. And that free will, I used to think of free will like, am I doing it? Like, what am I doing? Wh- Am I doing it right? And who knows? And then I really started to understand, for the line in the book around, it's nothing more or less than your willingness to share your inner life with God.
Yeah.
It's nothing more or less than sharing your inner life with God. It's
Yeah.
so easy.
Nothing more or less. That's it. Share your inner life. Jesus said teaching friendship with God, right? And that's available to us at all times. Yeah.
Yes.
I I often think of this concept. I picture a compass, and true north is aligned exactly towards God, right? So you can be aligned just slightly off. You can be going the complete opposite direction. And that's all based on your choices. But there is this fundamental reality that is beckoning you forward, putting all these things in front of you with the hope that you are going to choose the spiritual path and go back to source and go on this eternal adventure. Adventure. Did I say that right? Um,
So exciting.
I mean, it's, yeah, like this is our job. This is not a purposeless situation here on this planet. And you have this unbelievable situation of you being given free will to have experience. And isn't it crazy? Like, I was just thinking the other day that as human beings, none of us can account for our own existence, right? We're just here trying to figure it all out. And when you lay hold of spiritual values, like the big one for me is obviously love. And the book tells us that love is the supreme spiritual value. I
Product of
feel
integrity.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. But I feel like love is the world's most uncultivated natural resource. And yeah, there it is. If you're watching this, that's your purpose. No biggie. Just to find your way to paradise. Yeah,
And we get
amazing.
to do it together. And when I know people like you and really awesome people, we will remember this in eternity and get to, just look back and then look forward and do things together. And
Mm, yeah, yeah. It's it's amazing. Um, just on that idea again with the Your Rancho book and these revelatory concepts like the thought adjuster. Is there anything else that jumps out to you personally as being revelatory or impactful um, in a practical way in your life?
yeah, well, definitely the probationary nursery that changed the whole trajectory of my life. And let's see, there's so many. What we were talking about,
Supreme.
well, I was going in that direction. What we were talking about earlier of just this eternal perspective as a well organized education system, and then we graduate and get to go to work and administer planets. I envision that one for myself. I can't be an Eve, which that's disappointing. I wanted to be an Eve. Maybe I could support an Eve.
Sure. Yeah.
That idea, of the Supreme, and if you don't know, the Supreme is the evolutionary aspect of God. There is God, the creator, that is first source and center. And this aspect of the Supreme was actually the first aspect of God that I, and even still, truly resonate deeply, most deeply with, because, playful, creative, experimental, we are experiencing and adding value to the Supreme. And I really like Science of Mind and how Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith languages. We are each uniquely experiencing God through us. And
Mm,
as we share and make the divine decision to share our inner lives with God and I think, keep the body temple clean so that we can listen more clearly. Yeah. Okay. Mic drop on that.
yeah, for sure.
Totally with her.
Yeah. Yeah. The importance of taking care of yourself, taking care of your body and how that helps the mind and vice
Yes.
versa.
Yes. Especially if you're it for me, my aim is quality longevity so I can serve. And that's what I advocate for. because if you're sick, we're not at max capacity of our light being shown.
Right.
And then the mind for quality longevity, keeping the mind active and in creative process, I think is definitely that imagination muscle throughout our lives, like really advocating for play and games and humor and
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. That the body component has always been a thing for me. And I've realized this over the past year where I'm starting to get these real insights when I'm running on a treadmill. So, first, I am so much better in all aspects of my life when I'm taking care of myself and
Mhm,
getting to the gym, being active, but how when I'm specifically going through these times where I'm pushing myself, right? Like running on the treadmill as an example. Once I start getting to maybe 20 minutes in, all of a sudden, the, it's like this stuff starts happening. It feels like you're receiving something. And the practical aspect, I think whatever I'm doing now with this podcast or whatever, some of that is built in these moments. But I don't know, it's just something we don't normally think about, I guess. But yeah, that body, mind, spirit balance thing is really important.
mhm.
And I know um you do yoga, right?
That is such a small word, so I am ditching that and speaking my language.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I say that respectfully in the classical sense of, yes, 30 plus years of sharing what I call the art of living, because yoga, to whatever perspective that person is coming to that word, I say it's too small because generally it's the body, and yoga is life. It's all of life when you're bringing a higher consciousness into your every movement, your every thought, your every conversation. And yeah, so I still have clients and I still uh, love living with people for about a month or 3 and being together in that space and upstepping their life with my knowledge. So that's a fun way to go into the fire because it's just as challenging for me to be with a new
Mm,
person than it is
sure.
to we're not together all the time. It's kind of a flow of 2 or 3 times a day for an hour or so, and everything from learning how to cook, learning how to shop. Sometimes people don't even know how to shop.
Mhm.
Whether they have kids or not, the program looks a little differently, and then I can just do all of my other work in the times that we're not meeting.
Mm, mhm.
Yeah, it's a fun
There is something we need to talk about, and that is the progress project.
I was thinking, will we go in that direction? And I love it because it's a shout out to we need a volunteer to help us. So it's in the incubation stage. We have a lot of thoughts around it, or at least I do, as a legacy project. It's the timing. If I could get a grant, I would be doing more of that myself. So the vision of well, and I'm sure maybe I didn't listen to all of it the other day. Did y'all speak about the progress project?
Yeah, well,
I
if I'm
got a
with Angie,
little
we have to talk about
yeah.
uh, it's so crucial to me. Again, this another one of these steps along my path. The progress project was a huge one, and we brought it up in the episode that um, the reason that I did that was you were lovingly pushing me to do it. Well, yeah, first, why
We
don't
met
we
we met
tell
in
people what the
UU.
progress. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you and I met in 2020 in the UUI cafes, which do you want to just explain to people what that was or what it is?
Urantia University Institute. It's an online platform university that I've taught at. We had the Progress Project in it, the cafes, and they're still going on, which is an awesome project that has come out of that 2020 experience. And it's led by very long-term readers, so you're getting high quality conversations, a lot of time for Q&A if you're new, and also if you're polished, you'll enjoy the high quality conversation. Yeah, I really valued that time as well because of that isolation. So it was fun to meet
Yeah,
other
that
young
for
and you hardly see that right now, except within the African and Latin American countries are really getting a lot of more younger readers. It seems like North America is a little slow to that right now, but
Mhm.
I'm glad I met you.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was really important for me because while we were all locked away in our houses, that's exactly when I felt the need for spiritual community. And yeah, it was so nice that they're holding these online cafes
Mhm.
on Zoom where you can get together and hang out with people and chat. And yeah, that's where we originally met.
Yeah.
And then now on to the Progress Project.
Yes. That came out of Angie's desire to grow spiritually in a group of 3. So 2 other were they all 3 of them are second generation. And it's whatever a triad, we call them, wants to make of their group, they can shape it. Aren't you still in yours and you meet periodically? Yeah,
Yep.
how cool is that?
Yeah, we're meeting in a couple weeks. Yeah, amazing.
And to witness that long-term relationship, I don't have it currently, and I definitely in my, petitions to the cosmos is am ready for 2 people to come around and be with me in that way.
Mm.
So there's a little shout out to any of you who might be interested. I think I'm a little picky, so maybe I shouldn't do a shout out right there. I and yet I do like experimenting even if the triad doesn't last, like, do a 6-week or 3-month trial period. Even this is a suggestion for anybody who wants to start one. Go into it knowing it's just a bound time and anybody can walk away, and then see if you can and even want to persevere in it for the long haul. Because when you well, and you have more insight into how that in a longevity situation, because I haven't had that experience yet.
Yeah.
I do with a
Yeah.
lot
I
of
mean, specifically
yet it's different when you
with
have
individual.
3, just instead of a duo, a trio. And it's
Yeah,
that
exactly.
pattern why we chose it is the Trinity pattern, and that 3 has the reconciling force, and which
Right.
is important.
3 is that's a group. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that whole experience for me, I can't say enough about it because again, it fostered whatever I'm doing now spiritually, even this podcast. And there's so many people, I see it all the time, who are essentially spiritual loners, or maybe their group is a religious community, a big religious community, and they'll have lots of people in that. But that idea of getting together regularly with a group of 3 people and talking about spiritual goals your spiritual growth, of having some time to commune in whatever way feels appropriate to you. And then across time, I always have difficulty articulating this, because how do you, with words, explain what is happening? Like, you could say growth, I'm growing, but it's growing in the best way possible. For me, it feels like all aspects of my life are getting better, and I feel more aligned with spiritual values. But wouldn't it be an amazing thing if this was a normal part of society, where people get together regularly in a triad and discuss spirituality in their lives and witness the benefits of that across
Mm.
time?
Yeah. So, out there who wants to pick up the torch on that, we have so much material. And, you know,
Yeah, I feel like this is a seed that is going to be watered and is going to grow into
I hope
something
so.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
I might be
Yeah.
inspired to search for a grant to actually do that now that we're having this conversation, because that's important to me. All
Hmm.
these things are so important to me, and I uh, the entrepreneurial spirit in myself, which I see in you as well. There's that always the hustle, right? So it takes me back to this animalistic thing of materialism, and like that is a reality, that is that chronic low level stress. I I don't let it ever get to a freak out zone of stress. I think some stress is good, and it pushes you.
Hmm.
It's that going back to the fire. Everything always comes through right on time. And the less stress that I hold around a situation mentally generally is that flow is more palpable, and things happen even better than I would have ever expected it, just to
Right.
go. Mm,
Yeah. Um, I'm sure I'm going to expand on some of the experiences I've had over the past year, especially with this podcast and with the other one I'm doing. So I'm doing two podcasts right now. There's this one, and then I also have a project with Josh Abernathy, the Imperfections of Days podcast, which is part of the Channel 606 group, which will be on Hubcast. We just actually put out the first episode on Monday.
yeah, you're a busy
Yeah.
guy too, but
And
we make time
like,
for
it's
the
like,
things that yeah.
yeah. And it's all of a, feels somewhat out of the blue, but just how the all these things open up before you if you're just willing to ask and look for it. And man, this year, some of the experiences that I've had are truly unbelievable. Um, Borderline paranormal, even. Um,
Sounds
yeah,
fun.
yeah, it's crazy. But that's a much bigger, bigger, longer conversation than for right now, and I'm sure that'll come out across time. But the point being that when you are actively engaged with your spirituality, these unbelievable and amazing things manifest.
That's the word on the street.
Yep.
That's the
So I know
experience.
you've talked about, some of the stuff that you're working on. What are some of the things short term or long term in the future for you?
Yes, I may spend the winter in Hawaii helping my birth sister. blood sister. We're birth sisters. We're not twins. I love her though like a twin, and she has an athletic wear line that I'm so proud of her, and it's a little pop-up store on Elite E. Have you been to Kona?
No, been to
No?
Maui.
So maybe hop on over there. And then I'm helping another Urantia reader open up his French retreat center. So after the IC26, I'll be heading to France. It's Gilles, a little shout out, hey brother. And it's his family home that he's been remodeling into this new space. And we'll host our first gatherings uh, early and late September. And who knows, I may end up doing this Uganda thing to build that building. That would be a fun aspect of this adventure. I stayed in one place for so long, and now I have these. It's just a different season of travel and more social engagement, which
Yeah, where are you
I'm
now?
glad to have that time. I do have this little place at my family lands in Northwest Arkansas that I get to hub out of, and then just whatever these spirit leading opportunities that come by and can take me also to the financial space that I idealize for myself, but it's still so simple living. I'm definitely a minimalist, and yeah, living in this world with money, that's another huge lesson in my spiritual path, right? It's this thing that is necessary. If trade were more I like the idea of trade and barter, and I do that a lot if people are open to it, because this whole
Mm.
money thing, I envision myself as a philanthropist one day. Like, someone would come along and say, "Here is a bank account and do all of your good works." I'm gonna call that in.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I like when we talk about money and it's like, yeah, obviously we need to consume and we need to have the means to putting food on the table and a roof over one's head. But man, I don't want to get too negative, but it's like, what are we doing? These systems that are in place. And to me, speaking to my intuition, which I've been leaning into and learning a lot about over the past year, is this feeling like we are truly at this time of change. And I think it's a change that's going to shock a lot of people, but it it is needed, and that will align us more with spiritual values, truth, beauty, goodness, love, trust, mercy, on and on and on.
On and on and on. Well, you're adding value in that way for sure. And I think this is an important conversation, in the spiritual space of money. And it's the reality on the planet. And in my perspective, it's conscious consumerism that is the highest spiritual value that you can have in that relationship with money. And conscious consumerism is your vote. So as we look towards the era of light and life, which by the way, if anybody out there doesn't know about this, it's this inevitable time that any evolving planet will get to, and unless you know the planet goes into apocalypse, which I don't resonate with that. I think that this planet is well protected and because of our status, and we will reach the era of life in life one day. And what that vision is, we spoke about it a little bit earlier, and my interest in getting into global politics is has direct ties with money and conscious consumerism. And there's a lot of other elements, obviously, yet industry, I think, is one of the most important things for our humanity to progress forward, is to really get clean, get in integrity, have that cosmic family perspective so you don't, screw your brother over. I mean, that's essentially, it's like this immature little kids on the playground. And so it's like, okay,
Yeah.
how long will
Yeah.
that take? I don't know. Yet there is consciousness around it that is started, and it is in the evolution and ascension plan, and all is well in perfect time is one of my favorite chants to keep me calm. All is well in perfect time.
Yeah.
Observe it, do what you
Well, that's
can to initiate some change in it. Yeah.
mhm. That's another revelatory concept from the Urantia book, Era of Light and Life. It, it should give us a sense of hope that even with all these challenges and these ups and downs on this planet, the path to progress, we are going to eventually get to that place. And that's good to know. It's good to know that the Most Highs do rule in the kingdoms of men. It is not chaos and negative. It is mostly positive, and that's why these negative things stand out so much to us, right? And why we feel motivated to do something about it and to push forward and to do something creatively that's positive.
Yes. Helping the G. I like the G3. This doing the greatest good for the greatest number for the greatest length of time. I wanna make T-shirts of the G3. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And, if that's not your aim, that's okay too. Just learning how to be is so important. The doing part, that's cool too if you wanna get and really serve the G3. Yet learning how to be, and within the doing, the being becomes more quickened because you're with other people, right? And you're sharpening your blade from that friction. Yet learning how to be that integrity with the values that you say you have. And if you don't know, then start looking them up about living virtuously, and I'm switching my mind currently because we in the progress project, like, look at your values, see what naturally comes to you. Yet when you admire a value that you don't necessarily have in your character, think about it more. What that does is magnetize cosmic opportunity for that to be in your face. Have you experienced this? I'm sure
Hmm.
many of you out there
Hmm.
have. Once you bring it up, that it's like in science, right? Once you look at it, it's already changed. And so yet then, um, looking at the ones that naturally come to you, and there is a quickened pace also when you consciously do more of those. And then it automatically helps the other ones that you admire and wanna call in. So it's this wonderful playground to Explore if you want to bring more consciousness to it, and how that, I think, is also the magnet of more things to be grateful for in your life, more opportunities that are opening for you, and the people that will help the things that you're called to do move that thing forward, move that project forward, or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Spoken like a true spiritual warrior.
Yeah.
Uh, well, you know what? I think we've done some good work here today.
Yeah, we've covered ground. Thank you. Oh,
Lots
it's 11:11 here.
of course it is. Divinely timed. It's always divine timing with you.
Perfect. Mic drop.
Well, my sister, until the next time.
Be of good cheer.
Yes, for sure. All right. Love you.
Love you.